talk about Smash Ultimate's villains. So with the release of Smash Ultimate's newest DLC character, Hero, I got to thinking and realized something pretty obvious, but something that not a lot of people really talk about, and that is the great lack of baddie representation in Smash. So I went ahead and made a list categorizing the morality of each character in this game. We have the good guys, the protagonists of their respective worlds. We have your Links and your Marios, the ones trying to save the day. Then we have the neutral characters, which mostly consist of Pokemon. They're the ones whose games really don't have antagonists, and therefore they can't be protagonists, so they're kind of just there for you to play. But the somewhat controversial category I've named complicated antagonists. They're the ones who are technically bad guys in some of their games, but aren't inherently evil. So I'm not going to count them as full-on baddies. Dark Pit was created to be Pit's greatest enemy, but they team up and become frenemies like halfway through the game. Meta Knight is always trying to fight Kirby, but at least he's kind enough to give him a sword before battle, and he always helps him out against other enemies. Also, the fact that he's so self-conscious about his face being shown kind of makes him an unthreatening Wolf is definitely one of the most gritty characters in video games. However, he did kick somebody out of his group for being too greedy and has teamed up with Fox a number of times. He's really just a mercenary who'd do anything for money, and while that is morally gray, I still wouldn't consider it evil. Wario has evolved a lot since its conception as the anti-Mario. He has his own games now, which he's the protagonist in, and when he fights Mario, it's kind of just comedic. I really wouldn't call him a baddie. And finally, King Dedede may be a fat, greedy blob of an organism, but he does serve as Kirby's ally on many occasions, and really only fights him when he's being possessed by dark matter. Also, this is not the face of intimidation. So that leaves us with a grand total of 7 baddies. Out of 72 playable characters, only 7 are true villains. Only 8 are true villains. And 1 is just an Echo Fighter. And 1 is an embarrassment to this game and should not even be considered an actual character, but nothing more than a meme. Another thing I noticed is that most of our villains kind of follow the same pattern of body figure. They're all pretty fucking thick. Now don't get me wrong, I have nothing against heavy characters, I do enjoy playing with them. I just don't understand why every single villain, with the exception of Piranha Plant and Bowser Jr., has to be a heavy. I was super excited when King K. Rool and Ridley came out, but honestly they're both just too big for their own good. And I just feel like there needs to be more representation for the smaller, sleeker villains as opposed to the girthy ones. But the question remains, who should it be? Well, I hope we find an answer soon, otherwise Villager might send us to a realm of torture and despair. While I have my own ideas about who the next Smash villain should be, I also took to Reddit and asked the wonderful people of Reddit. They gave me a lot of answers, except for this one guy who just said Wolf and Dark Samus are villains. I guess he did not time travel and watch this video where I explained that Dark Samus is an Echo Fighter and Wolf doesn't really count as a full-fledged villain. One popular answer on the Reddit post was for Porky from the Mother franchise. And while I also have fond memories of Subspace Emissary, this kid would definitely be a heavy and therefore is off the list. Another popular answer was Dr. Eggman from the Sonic franchise. Also would be a heavy, also off the list. Sigma from Mega Man, another heavy. Eggplant Wizard, 2 unknown. King Hippo, the heaviest of the heavies. Liquid Snake would just be Vanilla Snake's Echo Fighter. Jin from Xenoblade would just be another Sword Boy. Marx and Dracula would both be cool, but they're already bosses in classic mode, so I don't think that's gonna happen. Tatanga would definitely be a heavy, and Medusa would actually be a good shout. I like that one. Personally, one of my top picks would have been Skull Kid from Majora's Mask. Unfortunately, he's already an assist trophy, and worse than that, he is a costume for the Miis. I can't think of any worse insult than to make this beautiful devil angel child a Mii costume. Just kidding, I actually like the Mii fighters, and I'll take what I can get with Skull Kid. Also, I always forget how fucking ugly this guy is without the mask. Another contender for me would definitely have been Sephiroth from Final Fantasy. He is one of the most badass villains in video game history. But if the Smash community has made one thing clear, it is that they do not want another Sword Boy. So he's probably off the table too. Alright, I might be a little bit picky on who I would want the next Smash villain to be, and the options are starting to narrow down a lot. I was honestly getting close to just giving up and choosing Kamek as my number one pick. You know, the guy who's most known for changing bad luck spaces into extra bad luck spaces in Super Mario Party. But then it hit me. Wallendo6 said Zant, and I thought to myself, Zant's kind of boring. He doesn't really do or say much. But then someone said Lord Girahim, and I thought, nobody really cares about Skyward Sword anymore. However, there is a character in the Zelda universe who would be the perfect next villain for Smash. That's right, everybody. It is the one and only Baddie from the Four Swords sub-series. The Minish Cap is the game where Baddie really established himself as a fan favorite. We see his unquenchable thirst for power as he turns Zelda to stone and unleashes darkness upon all of Hyrule. This guy is just an amazing character overall. He's malicious, he's schemy, he uses dark magic instead of swords, and his Baddie reborn form would make for a great villain in Smash. He'd probably be pretty lightweight, similar to Palutena maybe with his movement, and I just feel like he would have some really cool specials. For being one of the most popular and definitely the most highly acclaimed Nintendo franchise, Zelda just doesn't have as much representation as it should. There's 3 different versions of Link, 1.5 versions of Zelda, Ganondorf, and that's it. That is why Baddie would be the perfect inclusion as the next villain into the Smash universe. So yeah, that is my argument for Baddie. If you have an idea for a potential Smash villain, leave it in the comments. If you thought my idea was ridiculous and you hate me because of it, leave it in the comments. But if you did enjoy this video, leave a like, and thank you so much for watching. Please excuse the awful gameplay with the characters I never use, and I will be back next week with another video. What on? I don't know, but I'll figure it out, and see you guys then.